Welcome students to our class of BA Part 1. We are continuing with Paper 2, Section A, and we started with the chapter, the essay Fearlessness by M.K.Gandhi, and in the last class we studied how Gandhiji gives reference from Gita's chapter 16, in which we find that how the different qualities which are considered to be godly or divine, that means if we follow them we come near to God's own self. So while studying these, we find that the first quality, the quality which has been given highest rank, is fearlessness. We studied this last time. So let us continue reading this essay, and we are on paragraph number 2nd. Fearlessness connotes means denotes or talks about freedom from all external fear of disease, bodily injury and death, of dispossession, of losing one's nearest and dearest, of losing reputation or giving offense, and so on. So we have studied in the last class that fear can be divided into two, external and internal. While external fear concerns our outer form, our body, the disease which we carry, our possessions, that means our property, our possessions, if we fear that it may not get lost, our reputation or image in society. So these are the external fears. One who overcomes the fear of death does not surmount all other fears, as is commonly but erroneously supposed. People think that those who are able to overcome or win over their fear of death, they can be free of fear of all other fears, but this is not correct. Some of us do not fear death but flee means run away from the minor ills of life. Minor ills, we may not fear our death, but when we get some illness, minor illness, we fear that because that is the immediate pain which we feel. Some are ready to die themselves but cannot bear their loved ones to be taken away from them. For death also, people are more fearful of death of their near ones rather than their own death. Some misers will put up with all this, will part even with their lives but not their property. So there are different kinds of people. Some people, they cannot give away their money or their possessions even if at the cost of their own life. Others will do any number of black deeds. Black deeds means negative. Deeds means work. They may do some kind of human trafficking or drugs which are harmful for human beings, and all the other negative things which happen in society in order to uphold their supposed prestige. So whatever their image, their prestige is there in society, they want to hold on to that. Some will swerve from the straight and narrow path. Swerve, move away from the correct path which lies clear before them, simply because they are afraid of incurring the world's odium. Odium here means hatred, that if they will not continue to earn money by wrong means, their image in society, they will become less and their image will become lowered in society. The seeker after truth must conquer all these fears. So somebody who wants to walk the path of truth has to overcome all kinds of fears. He should be ready to sacrifice his all in the quest of truth, even as Harish Chandra did. So here Gandhiji gave example from history of a king called Harish Chandra, who used to speak truth even at the cost of his own life. The story of Harish Chandra, we had read this paragraph that it may be only a parable, not a true story, but the lesson which we get from this story of speaking truth is very relevant. Perfect fearlessness can be attained only by him who has realized the Supreme. Who's Supreme? God, as it implies freedom from delusions. So we can be called completely fearless if we believe in God, because when we believe in God, then we are free from any kinds of delusions, any kinds of misconceptions. One can always progress towards this goal of becoming completely fearless by determined and constant endeavor and by cultivating self-confidence. So how we can attain this complete freedom from fear is by our constant work upon ourselves, by developing the confidence that when God is with us, we can always cross the difficult paths in life. Then Gandhiji goes on to say, as I have stated at the very outset, as I have said in the beginning, outset means in the beginning, we must give up all external fears. By now you know what are external fears. But here he brings in another kind of fear, another area of fears, that is internal foes. Foes means enemy. We must always fear. We are rightly afraid of animal, passion, anger and the like. External fears cease. Cease means stop of their own accord when once we have conquered these traitors within the camp. What does this statement mean? Conquered means to win. Traitor means those, like in an army, if you have some disloyal people, so they will try to cheat you. So within our own human body, what is it that cheats us? Within the camp means within the camp of our army, all fears revolve round the body as the center and would therefore disappear as soon as one got rid of attachment for the body. We thus find that all fear is the baseless fabric of our own vision. So fear is nothing in front of us when we try to get rid of our external fears. Fear has no place in our hearts when we have shaken off the attachment for wealth, for family, and for the body. Enjoy the things of the earth by renouncing them is the noble precept. So when, as the Gita says, that do your work and don't think of the rewards. You live in this life without getting yourself attached to the things around you. Wealth, family and body will be there just the same. We have only to change our attitude towards them. All these are not ours, but God's. Nothing whatever in this world is ours. Even we ourselves are His. Why then should we entertain any fear? So when we think like this in spiritual terms, we realize that we get lot of self-confidence, we get the courage to do our work properly, not to get too much attached to things which causes external fears. The Upanishads therefore directs us to give up attachment for things while we enjoy them. That is to say, we must be interested in them not as proprietors. Proprietors means owners, but as only trustees. He on whose behalf we hold them. So all the things which we have in our life is because of God. Will give us the strength and the weapons requisite for defending them against all usurpers. Who are usurpers? The illegitimate people. When we thus cease, stop to be masters and reduce ourselves to the rank of servants, humbler than the very dust under our feet, all fears will roll away like mists. We shall attain ineffable, means incapable of being expressed in words, ineffable peace, and see Satyanarayan, the God of truth, face to face. So when we develop this kind of a spiritual thinking that God, everything I have is of God, we will never be able to have any fear of external things. So this is the path Gandhiji says is needed to overcome all kinds of fears. So the questions which may come in your exams would be that why are we now satisfied. What helps us? What is external fear? What is internal fear? So these are, the whole chapter rotates around these questions. And there are some words which are given at the glossary, which you can read and study. And the questions are like, fearlessness connotes freedom for all external fear. What, according to Gandhiji, are external fears? Then he talks about internal fears. What are internal fears? So the questions could be short type also and a long question also. So with this we finish another chapter from paper 2, section A.